because God is not going to put you in a situation to be tortured, to have to go through all of that, you know, and to stay in something like that where you're not being respected, where you're being cheated on, you know, all of those things.
Irv Gotti treated Deb Lorenzo like trash. He did that while he was actively pursuing Ashanti and telling the whole world. Deb stayed through all of that up until the moment it became clear that Ashanti didn't want nothing to do with Irv. Then Irv crashed out and Deb realized that it was time to go. Now that Irv has passed, Deb is finally stepping forward to tell the truth, and whew, she ain't holding nothing back. They saying surviving Irv Gotti is in the Netflix documentary pipeline. And it's crazy because if what Deb is saying is true, this ain't just a scandal. This is a full-on industry expose.
My dad did the same thing, cheated, and my mom stayed, and I don't want to be my mom. I don't want to live that life. And then I think about the kids, and I'm like, well, they're seeing me living this way, and then it's the cycle. I saw my mom live it, then here I am, I'm living it, then Angie grows up and she eventually lives it, and I'm like, I gotta break this cycle or it's gonna continue on. I don't want to live their life.
Imagine this. You marry a man, hold him down while he builds his empire, raise his kids, and expect loyalty, respect, and stability. But instead, you end up in the background watching your husband publicly thirst over another woman. For years, Deb watched Irv act like a lovesick fool over Ashanti, right in front of her face. It wasn't just cheating. It wasn't just lies. It was humiliation. When Deb married Irv in 2003, she knew she was marrying a busy man. He was a mogul, building Murder Inc., signing artists, making hits. She expected him to be on the move. But what she didn't expect was to be left behind, completely replaced by his obsession with Ashanti. At first, it was subtle. He would mention Ashanti a little too much. Then, it was undeniable. Every conversation became about her music, her career, her looks. Before she knew it, Irv was staying out longer, spending less time at home and more time in the studio with Ashanti. And when the rumors started flying about Irv and Ashanti being more than just business partners, baby, Deb already knew the truth. Now let's be clear, Deb wasn't naive. She had dealt with his cheating before, and she put up with it because she was the understanding type. Her only ambition growing up was to be a good wife to her husband and a great mother to her kids.
Well, that was all I wanted to do. Like growing up, you know, kids are like, oh, I want to be a doctor. All I wanted to do was be a mother, a wife, and have the big house. And I used to envision it. Like I used to play dress up. I used to play house by myself in the mirror, and I used to put towels in my shirt, like as if I was pregnant. And I would act like I would see a husband coming in, and I would greet him, and I was so visual as a kid. And so that was all I wanted. Like that was all my vision for my life, was to be a wife and a mom.
So when Irv started cheating, he broke that dream. And then he went a step further with Ashanti. This wasn't some random industry fling. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a full-blown obsession. And the worst part, he didn't even try to hide it. Deb had to watch the man that she was married to spend years talking about Ashanti like she was the only thing that mattered. He would gush about her in interviews. He would brag about how he made her. He even had the nerve to say she was his soulmate. Meanwhile, Deb was at home, raising their kids and keeping their family together, all while being treated like a damn afterthought. For Deb, it wasn't about the cheating. It was about the blatant disrespect. Even after Ashanti dumped him and moved on, Irv still couldn't let it go. And when he started taking his anger out on Deb, that's when she knew. She had to get out. Her marriage was over the moment Irv decided that chasing Ashanti was more important than keeping his own damn family together.
It's like I needed to go through that, because sometimes I even think, like, okay, when I got divorced, was it the right thing? And then I'm like, nope, like that was the right thing, because God is not going to put you in a situation to be tortured, to have to go through all of that, you know, and to stay in something like that where you're not being respected, where you're being cheated on, all of those things.
Now, some of y'all might ask, why the hell did she wait that long to move on from that man? And I wouldn't blame y'all, but one thing y'all gotta understand is this. Irv might have been a bad husband, but he was one hell of a father. And Deb didn't want her kids to lose a great father. She sacrificed herself. But he was a great father until he wasn't. Because you see, in the early days of Murder Inc., Irv was always on the move, traveling, making music, and securing deals. But no matter how busy he got, he always made time for his family. Weekends were with the kids, he would show up for school events, he made sure Deb never felt completely abandoned. But when Ashanti stepped onto the scene, all that stopped. Suddenly, weekends weren't for the family anymore. Suddenly, Irv was spending every waking moment in the studio, always next to Ashanti. Suddenly, he was talking more about Ashanti's career than his own damn kids. And for Deb, that was it. That was the last straw. There was no excuse no more. Irv had lost his last card with her. But she still stayed a little longer until he decided to act a fool publicly. Now imagine this. You're sitting at home, raising the kids, running the house, handling everything like a loyal wife and ignoring his infidelity. Let's say y'all are even separated and still trying to see how y'all can work things through the way they was. But then one day, your husband is on TV sitting across from Wendy Williams, grinning like a damn fool while gushing over another woman. The disrespect was loud. And the worst part, Irv didn't even see the problem. So Deb left him like she should have done a long time ago. But what's funny is, Ashanti didn't even want him. She moved on with Nelly. So Irv spiraled. And until the day he passed, he was one story and another about how Ashanti was his soulmate, the one that got away.
You know what's so good about this watch?
Yeah, nobody has that. That is very limited edition.
No, you know what's so dope about this watch? That coincides with the murdering story or documentary? Ashanti bought me this watch.
What happens when your own husband is out here acting like you don't even exist? Because let's be very clear, when Irv spiraled over Ashanti, he wasn't out here talking about his wife. He wasn't reflecting on the woman who raised his kids. He wasn't crying over the family he was destroying. Nope, every interview, every headline, every rant, it was all about Ashanti. Every interview, it was the same thing. He would sit down on a public platform and instead of talking about his career, his family, or his success, he would start crying over Ashanti like a man who got left on red. And Deb was watching it all happen in real time. From the Wendy Williams show in 2007 to Drink Champs in 2022. Irv held onto Ashanti like a new pair of Velcro straps on your son's school shoes. And not once did he talk about Deb. Not once did he acknowledge the wife he left in the background. Not once did he say, damn, I really messed up my family. Nope. It was all about how Ashanti betrayed him, how she wasn't loyal, and how she didn't appreciate him. Meanwhile, Deb was the only one who actually held him down. She got no recognition, and that's why fans been wilding out with zero mercy for the dead. When you ignore a man who already wants you, his desire will turn into obsession, and his love will turn into hate. Ashanti didn't destroy their marriage. Irv destroyed his marriage. And secondly, Ashanti wasn't the only woman he was having an affair with. Thank you. Deb didn't think that she could change him, but she hoped that he would for the sake of their family, and she was still in love with him. It's tragic. But what do y'all think? Was Deb too patient, or did she love the wrong man? Did Irv ever really love Ashanti, or was it just another power trip? Now that Irv's story is out, should Deb finally tell hers? Tell me what you think in the comments.